Welcome to Lords of the Long Box, invading three men in the basement and Otto from the grotto. Happy new comic book day to everybody. Shout out to everybody in the live chat that's been tailgating and waiting for us. We're just trying to get everything all nice and pretty for you all. Otto was having some issues as usual. So if you see him glitch in and out every now and then, it's not our fault. It's all Otto's fault. And speaking of Otto, say what's up, Otto.
What is up? Yeah, Optimus Prime was having a little hard time right here. A little transmission was running a little slow. We're having quite a thunderstorm up in the Northeast. Computers act a little funny, but Otto's back. We're here. We're ready to go. We got some great news for you. Thank you very much. Give a shout out to everybody who's jumping on the channel. That's typically on the Lords. You came into the grotto. Thank you very much for joining us here in the grotto.
And Nemesis Prime, say what's up.
What's going on, everybody? If you're on the East Coast right now, it is pouring. I'm in Jersey, and I'm afraid that the goddamn electric's going to go down soon. You know, who knows what's going to happen on this East Coast show.
I swear it was hailing here a little while ago. So
yeah. Only happened on this show. Why don't you highlight the folks in the live chat there as we say what's up to everybody. What's up to Chad Crow? He's been there early tailgating. Good to see you, brother Chad Crow. I see him on Twitter all the time. Gorilla Grodd in the house. Who else we got? Chad, AG Surfer, what's up, brother? Johnny Dakota in the house. Man from Beantown, liking the covers. Alex Perez, Tyler Rolnick, our friend from Arizona. Rick Taylor, what's up, everybody? Swaggernaut 88, we see him on the auctions all the time. Good to see everybody here as I scroll through. Wolf Blitz, good to see you in the house, brother. Everybody sub each other up. Very Gary, our friend. You guys are going to see Very Gary pretty soon, I would imagine, right?
Oh, yeah. Hell yeah. I can't wait to hang out.
All right. Sub up that channel right there. If you see my name in there, that's the new Lords channel right there. If you haven't catch my last video, the Lords are back. I can't quite get live yet. You need... once you activate live, you have to wait 24 hours. And I started this channel a little bit too late yesterday. So the Lords are back. Kind of. All my other stuff is gone. But we're starting a new channel. Lords of the Long Box. See me there. Click on that. Subscribe. We're up to almost 250 subs on my new channel. So I appreciate all the support and all the followers that have been with us ever since back in 2015, man. So it's been good. I tried appealing, couldn't get shit back. I did some research, found out that, hey man, it's gone and there's nothing you can do about it. So what I will tell you, if you ever plan on doing your own channel or you ever plan on doing this type of stuff and you're going strictly on YouTube, I would say back up your videos. After you upload your video, you can actually download it. A lot of people don't know that. If you go into your video manager and click on the three dots, you can download your video. Save your videos, because if YouTube ever takes it down, you do not have access to your own videos that you created. Yes, they took away everything. So every video I posted since 2015, gone. I don't have access to it at all. So what this taught me is that I registered a domain, and here's what's really sketchy, man. Somebody registered lordsofThelongbox.com.
That's really sketchy, dude.
I went to GoDaddy and it wasn't available, and it was registered like 3 days ago. And a lot of times people squat on names and they make you pay for it. I was like, screw that. That's, websites are typically better when they're acronyms anyway, or short CNN, ESPN, Collider, short names like that. So we registered LOTLB. So look for that. We're going to have LOTLB.com. I'm going to have articles. I'm going to post videos up on there, but as well as YouTube is where, bread and butter our bread was buttered here on YouTube. So we'll stick to it as long as we can. But, we also like to put daily content out. So, find out that a lot of people like to read, right? They don't want to sit through videos. So the videos are going to try to keep it shorter, maybe like 20, 30 minutes, maybe an hour is too long. But what's cool is I think the one thing that we miss in the live chats is all the cats in there. You guys can all talk to each other. You know what I'm saying? And that's, I think, the cool part of the community is people can sub each other up. People make deals in there. People say what's up. They talk a little smack. They end up, subbing each other up. I bet you people are wheeling, dealing, making comic book deals and all kinds of stuff. You know what I mean? But once again, this episode of Lords of the Long Box on 3 Men in the Basement is sponsored by KRSComics.com. Go to KRSComics.com. Use a discount code of LOTLB to get 10% off any KRS Comics exclusives. They got a lot of Carnage and Venom stuff. I actually went to my LCS today and I got some cool stuff. Also, shout out to the geekyswagshop.com. Use the discount code of LOTLB to use the discount. Get 15% off anything in the geekyswagshop.com, including these handsome men and the shirts that they have on right now. Shout out to whomever made them, and hopefully I'm going to get a red one soon.
That's right. We're working on a variant. So we do want to give a shout out to the Greeno silk screen company out of Newington, Connecticut, our boy Dave Levesque. And we also want to give a shout out to one of our sponsors, Pat Ray at CGC Blue Label Comics. You can find him on Instagram, and on the web you can find him at Blue Label Comics. And I'm not going to tell you, but he's got some heaters on that site for sale. So, you know, if you're not going to buy them, I'm gonna. So thank you to those guys who helped us out.
Yeah. So shout out to everybody in there. We got about 32 people right now. And I was saying on my video that I posted on the channel, Lords of Long Box, that this week's report is so huge that Comic Tom 101 and Gem Mint Collectibles, friend of the channel, asked me to go on their shows. And in order to promote the new channel, I'm going to come on Gem Mint's channel on Saturday, drop a few more nuggets on y'all. And then on Comic Tom, I'm going to be on there next Thursday to promote the new channel and also to kind of share with the Comic Tom channel and the Gem Mint Collectibles channel what we do on the Lords of Long Box. So, you know, they'll want to come over here, you know, even though they collect statues and omnibuses and, you know, on Comic Tom 101, they're kind of into the new stuff. We're going to teach them a whole new level of spec and how to spec on what we like to call blue chips. Because what I meant, I guess when to talk about this is the spec game has changed dramatically, and the spec game is not necessarily a bad word, right? It's part of collecting. It's like hip hop. There's four elements. There's like four elements of hip hop. There's DJing, MCing, graffiti, and b-boying. 4 elements of hip hop. There's also elements of collecting, buying new books, buying old books, buying trades, getting your books slabbed, speculating on new books. That's all part of comic book collecting. And so, you know, that's part of speculating. What I was saying is, we always keep on talking about Marvel, but it's kind of true because Marvel is really literally reshaping the game as we see it unfold in front of us. Before, spec was spec on movies, spec early, spec on a trailer, spec on heroes, long-term spec on villains quickly because they may flip. TV shows, be careful on spec, only spec on characters that are well established or have a cult following, right? Like The Punisher, boom, came to Netflix, blew it up. Iron Fist was hot for a while, but then the show proved it sucked. It dropped dramatically. Daredevil, well established, long character, and so that price kind of risen and kind of stayed where it was. Yeah. Power Man was also a victim of that. But now that Marvel has basically different mediums where they can put out new properties, and you're going to find out as I do this report, it's going to be huge. We're talking Disney Plus, Hulu, and Marvel movies. Now the spec game is different. I want to be honest with you, I really don't know how to react to it because it's up. Ultimately, it's not what we say or a website says. It's ultimately up to the marketplace and where they dictate what is the price and what. And you'll see what we're talking about as we go through this report, because there's a lot of different ways people go in. And we'll talk about this right now. I mean, we'll talk about Thor, female Thor, right? Mm-hmm. What has the market dictated is the book to get? Thor 1. No, it's What If. The What If book right now is the craziest book out there. Not the Thor book. It's it's not what we say. The market dictated that What If book was the book to get when the first female Thor came out in the comic books. Everybody bought it up. I can tell you a story right now. A big to-do was in Hall H, and when they announced the female Thor coming, everybody in Hall H got on their phones and went out and bought that What If book. So what's funny story is the big to-do was talking to a seller on eBay, and he goes, yeah, you're gonna buy it now. And then the guy sent it back, goes, oh, come on, man. Really? The movie news got announced. He goes, hey man, sorry. You put it up there. So hopefully it won't, not like happened to Justin, who bought it off a website that says I can cancel orders.
Yeah, Justin, talk about that, man, because that's definitely a wicked.
Yeah, let's
blow up. I mean, we
put
definitely
comics on blast here.
Yeah, we talked about it when JNS Collectibles was on here. So like, I went on Scott's Comics. Remember, that place is terrible. Don't buy from them.
ScottsComics.com, everybody.
ScottsComics.com. Do not buy from.
Yeah.
I bought 2 number 1s, a variant of number 1 and number 8, a number 6 variant, whatever it was. I probably paid $25 for 4 or 5 books. Next day, get the email. I'm canceling your order because of the movie news announcement. Blah, blah, blah. So I mean, who does that? I mean, that's just terrible business. You should definitely not go to ScottsComics.com. Remember that, ScottsComics.com.
Yes, stockscomics.com, your one-stop shop for absolutely nothing.
Because you get a book from there, he's going to go on eBay and search it. He's going to do some research. He's going to say, oh, well, this looks like some type of spec, and then he's not going to sell it to you.
So for all the Southern Cali folks, there's a shop in Orange County that does that. And I forgot the name of it. But basically, the owner of that comic shop got hospitalized because he got hit in the head with a brick. So that's how everybody knows him, but he has a huge store, and it's just boxes and boxes and boxes. And I was like, yeah, this is fine. And I was like, hey man, these books don't have grades or prices on them. So I brought him up to him, and he immediately goes on eBay and starts pricing them. I was like, oh, hell no, I'm out. Yep. No.
We have a shop here in the Northeast that does that. We don't go there anymore. Like you were like, nothing's priced. He's like, oh, let me see what it's going for on eBay. All right, buddy. That's it. See you later. I'm going down the road, man. That's just bad business.
Are we talking about the place in Enfield?
Yes,
say the name.
I'll tell. Yeah, what's the name of that? Because I'll tell you. Not only I've been to that store up in Connecticut, so I'm a New Jersey guy. I went up to the store looking for statues.
Right.
I was looking at sideshow pieces. This place is a museum of statues, sideshow, everything you name it. I go, I wanted a Black Hat or Spider Gwen, whatever it was, Gwen Stacy. Yep. What do? They go right to their phone. They're like, yeah, that's $800. I can go on eBay and buy it then.
Exactly.
I'm in the store,
The guy's a hoarder is what I really think he is.
It's so bad.
It's unbelievable. But he's got statues upon statues, and there's rooms and rooms and rooms, and it's just unbelievable. And then you look it up.
Funny story. Rick Taylor says it's J&J Comics, and he said he got pistol whipped. So here's the funny story of that. The day I went into the store, this is how he is, dude. During the day, he turns off all the lights until somebody walks in so he can save on electricity.
Oh my God.
Right. So then I come in there and he goes, it's been the 1 year anniversary since I got attacked. I go, God damn, what? I'm like, dude, I don't even know you. You're getting really telling me some personal shit. He goes, yeah, it's been a year and they just told me he got out of prison. I was like, well, holy fuck you. And then he pulls out his gun and go, but I'm ready. I'm like, God damn, what's going on, dude? I was like, man, it's like, this dude's a little nut. And he is a kind of squirrely, man. I'm just, cool guy, great big store. I mean, if you could just dig in there, because there's so much stuff he doesn't know to go through everything to see what's hot. I just think that's unfair business practice. I mean, who does that? Who, like, you go to think of any other industry where you go in, everything is priced, and then you take it up to the kind of go, hold on, these jeans are hot right now. Let me tell you how much these jeans are going for.
Right.
Like, oh, whoa, there's a shortage of 501s. Hold on, let me see how much they're selling for in Japan right now.
Yeah, exactly.
Or it's like, you go to the big cons on a Sunday and a guy's got a book and you say, he's priced it at like, let's say 500. And you're like, all right, dude, let's make a deal. 450, 400. He's like, no, the price is the price. And I'm like, all right, well, then you're not really looking to sell it. It's the last day of the show. You don't want to move it. You're just hoarding these books.
So here's a deep secret for those who are new to conventions or buying books at cons. 75% of the guys are there just to play, just for show off. Yeah. And I would tell you this, before the doors even open, all the deals are already done by the dealers and they're ready to go home. Everything that they sell there is just gravy. All the selling of books is done before the doors open between dealers themselves. That's the deep down dirty secret of conventions, and that's why you're paying extra prices for it. I know King of the Golden State just had a recent thing where a shop up in the Bay Area did that. If King of the Golden State wants to drop the name out, we'll give him a special shout out. But while we're waiting, let's go through the Black Knight report, man. This is a big one, boys and girls. This is huge, man. So what are we doing first? We're gonna do that one, right? The next Endgame.
Dragon.
Yeah, that's right. So check this out, man. So Kevin Feige, Marvel, they've already started planning the next Endgame, which would mean the end of this next 3 phases. As in the past, everything is fluid. It could change. Hell, Civil War was a last minute addition. And then there's recently we saw it with Blade. Nobody saw Blade coming, and Civil War was something new to the point where the name was Serpent Society, whatever. Anyway, what they're going to do at the end of the next 3 phases is Secret Wars. So we're going to have Marvel Secret Wars. When, if you think about this, Marvel does this with their giant crossovers, right? If you think about it, Infinity Gauntlet, right? Next up, Secret Wars. So, and this is going to be a big one because that's why I'm putting up both, because it's in name Secret Wars, but they're going to be pulling more so from the last one that came out in 2015, but pump your brakes, don't get pissed off, because a lot of people are pissed off about that. But Secret Wars will secretly build from film to film, with Annihilation in the middle of it all with Galactus. So you're thinking right phase 4, right like phase 5, right in the middle. So Galactus will be lurking. Earth will be divided into different battlegrounds. So if you think about that, that's exactly like the Secret Wars of 2015. Secret Wars in the 80s took place on a special planet. You had the Beyonder with big shoulder pads and a mullet. So you got to remember, it's all you kids, right? Yeah. So the Earth will be divided into different battlegrounds, everything from Wakanda to Atlantis to Latveria, each in a pocket universe. So that's even more like the 2015 version. If you haven't read that, which is a crazy read, by the way. Secret Wars is being mapped out in the Lords of the Rings style trilogy with a twist. For the first time ever, we will see cinematic tie-ins like the comic books themselves. Remember, Secret Wars, one of the main complaints was just a million tie-ins. But now that Marvel has Disney Plus and Hulu, they can do that. So solo and team movies will fights. Oh, excuse me. Solo team movies will have fights not in the trilogy. Doctor Doom will take over Europe. Mandarin will control Asia, and in the U.S. it will belong to the Red Skull, with the U.S. agent becoming a fascist Hydra traitor. Remember, we broke the story about Henry Cavill playing U.S. agent in one of I think it was in the Hulu series, right? So you're going to have all the Disney, because now remember, Kevin Feige has everything. With 3 pictures and several tie-in, all decks on hand, the former Netflix heroes and the Hulu horror heroes will be involved. So this is going to be huge. So that's why, I mean, this is one of those things, I don't know which one it will be, right? But I will say this, the safe play on this is Secret Wars #1, just out of nostalgia, right? Because it's a 12-issue maxi series. You got the first black suit in there. Secret Wars, the 2015 ran too long. There's just a ton of stuff, but there's a lot of new characters too. I met Shang-Chi was a prominent player in that because he had his own series going on, and that's where he got his weird multiplication powers. So let's talk about Secret Wars #1, Otto.
Well, Secret Wars #1, let's talk about that. 1984, your boy right here. I'm old. It was 12 years old when it came out. It was very important. They introduced a Beyonder character. Jim Shooter was the writer. Mike Zeck and Bob Layton did the inks and all the work on it. And it was actually to fire back at, well, they teamed up with Mattel to do a toy line. And that's what they wanted to do. They wanted to counter with Kenner had the DC heroes of superpowers. So it was in turn written because of the toys, and then Jim Shooter was handed the reins and they said, okay, now you got to write this story. They didn't like the way Dr. Doom looked. They didn't like the way they made Iron Man look. So if you notice, those costumes were definitely changed in there. But through that run, you have very iconic covers. You have the Doom cover with him destroyed one-on-one against the Beyonder. You have the first appearance of the symbiote, the black suit. You have Hulk with, the 100,000 pounds of planet beneath him. You've got lots of different characters in it, and it ran for 12 issues, and it was really important. The Beyonder, just another character that they created, but there was a lot of aspects to this that Jim Shooter had to wrap together to make this happen. And you know what? That book does stand the test of time. It's kind of campy, but it does stand the test of time.
I mean, if you remember, the Beyonders played a big role in the Secret Wars 2015 version. Right. They basically killed everybody. They killed all the elders of the universe. They killed Galactus, and they kind of started this whole weird realm where basically Dr. Doom was the ruler of everything, and only him and Doctor Strange really kind of remembered what the old world was like, right? I mean, that's pretty interesting. So what kind of sales data are we looking at on this, Justin?
I mean, this is a really cheap book. I mean, 9.6 is $50. Last sold GPA is about 67 on that, and 9.8s are just over $100. As we say, hey, if you can get $100, go ahead, go buy a 9.8 because that's just the way to go. I mean, it's a classic book. It's what do we
everybody? It's one of those things, right? It's like Amazing Spider-Man 252. Everybody should have Secret Wars in their collection.
Yes, right, absolutely. Yeah. These are staples.
Definitely. So, like I just said, first appearance, first issue. Go out and buy it. Just buy it, graded. Don't even bother going for a raw book because hey. There's no point for it anymore. It's $100 right there in your pocket, and you're going to get yourself a nice 9.8. So
right.
There you go, man. One of the most iconic series. And that new cover I gave is actually Mike Zeck recreated that Secret Wars cover. If you notice, it looks a lot newer than the actual comic book itself. I found that. I was like, oh, man, I'm going to use this as a graphic. Next up on the report, boys and girls, is some exciting news that I'm really stoked to hear. And it was actually, there were some articles that were kind of talking about this, but they didn't know he was going to be in it, but it ties directly into it. So we're getting some news about Shang-Chi. and the storyline that's coming through. We already know that it's going to be the 10 Rings of the Mandarin. And the Mandarin is going to be the big villain. And this book has been crazy because this book has been this is the perfect example of a book that was spec'd on by the secret cable of collectors. Because if you remember, for no apparent reason at all, Fing Fang Foom got hot like 3 years ago. Well, guess what, boys and girls? He's going to be brought in to the Shang-Chi film, because remember, Shang-Chi is not just a kung fu man now. They're taking the Mandarin and taking the mystical sides of it. And if you believe it or not, Fang Foom ties to the Mandarin, albeit in the Iron Man world. But I mean, he was way out there in Strange Tales 89 was his first appearance. But there's a reason why they're going to put him in the Mandarin thing. And first of all, there's interesting things about the Fang Foom you may not know. He's actually alien, right? They're an alien race, but he landed in ancient China where the legends came up. So that's why he took the form similar to a Chinese dragon, albeit Chinese dragons don't have arms and legs like that. That's the lower that's the body,
right?
Exactly. No, that's literally like Dragon Man or something, right? Because Asian dragons don't have wings and they don't have arms and legs. See, typically, I have a sleeve of a dragon, so typically. You just see them; they're long, more like snake-like creatures. Where if you think about dragons from Game of Thrones, that's like the mythical
fantasy
kind of
dragon,
the fantasy D&D dragons. If you want to geek out there for a second, chaotic good, y'all. What's second? So this book, he's going to be appeared in it, and there's got some history with it being a villain for the Mandarin. And this book is a great book to spec on to get, because if you haven't got it, you're not going to be able to get it. And if you want to go get it, it's going to cost you a pretty penny. And this is, guess who this is? Go ahead and tell him, Otto. Who created this?
This is Stan Lee, Jack Kirby. Let's talk about this, though. We also have, in this book, we have Larry Lieber was involved with it, Steve Ditko was involved with it, and Dick Ayers was involved in it. This is 1961, you guys. This is like early Marvel. They're trying to bring the characters in. You could see Fang Foom's face on the cover. It's almost very human-esque looking. The guy that he's going after is actually supposed to be Kirby, from what I understood. And it's just something that this was the creature age when they were trying to bring the monsters in and things like that. So this book is just a grail for anybody's collection if you're lucky to have it.
And then later on, so if you don't know about the 10 Rings of the Mandarin actually found those in China in a alien spacecraft. He found the 10 Rings there, and that's where he also awoke the Fang Foom, who, if you don't know, he actually speaks, right? He's powerful. He believes he's immortal. I mean, he speaks. He's sentient. And then weird thing, somebody said in the chat, he has like purple shorts for some reason. I don't know why. I don't know why he's got purple shorts on, but he's drawn with purple shorts, and he's shown up here and there throughout like Marvel history. You see him just pop up here and there. And you know what they always want? They want like a giant creature to fight that's destroying a city. That they wanted to make their version of Godzilla, but he's definitely tied to Chinese mythos. Let me hold on a second before you bring up the next graphic. Leave it on there, because I'm going to tell you what exactly it means.
And while you do that, Tim, Fang Foom, though, definitely stands the test of time. He's been into video games. He's been into cartoons for like the Superhero Squad. My 8-year-old, who was playing one of the Marvel superheroes, Cristiano, came running up to me. Dad, he goes, "Dad, who's the big dragon?" And I looked at him and I go, Fang Foom? He goes, yeah. So Marvel has definitely been keeping this character alive just because he's such an interesting character that doesn't get a lot of recognition, but he is out there.
Yeah, so let me it's a crazy thing what his name means. Okay. So Fang Foom in Chinese means he whose limbs shatter mountains and whose back scrapes the sun. Did you know that? We learn something every day. That's what I think it's. I don't know if it's Cantonese or Mandarin, but basically that's a pretty badass name. I mean, it's a little too wordy, but it's he whose limbs shatter mountains and whose back scrapes suns. Trust me, we went and dug deep to find the difference. I mean, I was pretty amazed by the history that he had. Good Lord, what was that?
I don't know. We back? Are they all right?
Is that me or you?
I don't know.
Can you hear me?
Yep, I can hear you.
All right, we're good. Yeah, I just heard some giant scraping. All right, what's the sales data on this, Justin? I was looking up and I was pretty shocked at the price.
First of all, this is an expensive book, but it's a very rare book. So as you can see, 6.0s go for the last one sold for $1,500.
Good Lord.
5.0 was $1,100 and a 4.0 was $811. But as you can see, that is the 12-month GPA on these books. That means there's only been one sale in the past year on any of those grades.
And those are the last sales, right? I mean, there's nothing newer. There's nothing higher grade. I mean, if you think about Strange Tales 89, this is pre-superhero, right? This is pre-Human Torch, pre-Doctor Strange, who came in Strange Tales 110. Prior to that, they were doing Human Torch. So this was back in the kind of monster books of Strange Tales that Marvel was doing. So, I mean, if you think about it, 1961, right? So this predates Amazing Fantasy, predates Fantastic Four, it's a hero book. So I mean, shout out to King of the Golden State who has a copy, man. But if you can find this, nab it up, man. Like I said, there's no sales data on it, but you know, he's a dragon in Asian myth, in Chinese mythos. He's tied to the Mandarin, and we just got confirmation. And here's how the Black Knight came about this: is that his sources told him that they've seen concept art for Shang-Chi that included Fang, Foom. Now, if that goes to happen, most probably. If it doesn't, well, the idea is there right now, and that's when you get in on it, because once it comes out that it's coming, everybody's going to go out there and buy them. I mean, it's a great book to have anyway, because as you could tell, the prices are there. But this goes back to what we've been saying, man. There's people who already know that they want to use this. They put them on giant boards for years and years and years. They go, let's figure out some way we can get this in there. And we gave you guys a long-term spec list, you know, a while ago. And, you know, there's some books on there that I may drop on you a little bit later. But yeah, man. So Fing, Fang, Foom. So let me go to the next one, which I teased on Instagram. And I'm really excited about this, because this was one of the first story arcs that I read when I first started collecting comics. I got into John Byrne and I bought all his entire run on the FF. And this was one of the great storylines of Copper Age Marvel. We're finding out that Frankie Ray will be introduced into the MCU in the Fantastic Four movie. She'll be heading out to become Galactus's Herald after the Silver Surfer is no longer in control. So this is a little bit different than the actual storyline, because in the storyline, you know, obviously Fantastic Four 244, it was way after Silver Surfer has already left Galactus. In the John Byrne run, this is part of when Galactus comes to Earth and all the heroes fight him, and he's in a weakened state. And basically, Reed Richards saves his life. And then later on is another great run called The Trial of Reed Richards. And basically, the galaxy put Reed Richards on trial for not killing Galactus. And Reed Richards' argument was, Galactus is a force of nature. You can't kill him. You could. That's what the ultimate nullifier was. That's the weapon that Reed Richards created to kill Galactus. But he said he's a force of nature. You have to have him. It's yin and yang, good and evil, right? If you kill him, then the balance of the universe will be, you know, shifted. So in this run, Frankie Ray is already like enamored with Galactus and everything that, she starts dating Johnny Storm. And she already has, here's what's different about Frankie Ray than most characters that become heralds. Galactus gives them power. She was pre-powered. She basically had the same powers of the Human Torch. And you'll find out her history is actually tied to the original Human Torch. I bet you didn't know that, because we're going back now. So this is fantastic. So the first appearance of Frankie Ray is in Fantastic Four 164. The first appearance of Nova is in Fantastic Four 244. So we'll talk about Fantastic Four 164 first. A couple of other great creators, and just know that her father was the guy who created the first Human Torch android. So what can you tell us about her first appearance? We'll go over this one first, then we'll talk about her first appearance in Nova.
Right.
Nova.
So this is where again, we're going to talk about what's going to dictate the market as far as the first appearance. But you got to talk about Marvel Gold here, okay? Marv Wolfman was the editor at the time. Kirby was the artist. Roy Thomas was the writer. George Perez.
Kirby did the cover.
Yes, I'm sorry. Thomas was the writer. Penciler was Perez. Joe Sinnott was the anchor, and then Roy Thomas was the editor at the time. So this was a lot of Marvel bullpen working really hard on the FF at this time when, sales were kind of down. So they introduced this character. But this was a great book, and you can probably find this book for relatively cheap. I'll let Justin talk about that. But this is her first appearance that you want to go after if you want the first appearance of Frankie Ray. And look at all those great artists and writers in this book.
and floating heads on the cover.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you'd be surprised. This book actually has a GPA. This book last sold 9.6 for under $100, $89.
A steal.
Past that, I mean, only an 8.0 for $65. So
because a lot of people they got the first appearance of Nova. So I mean, just know that she's tied. Her father created the Human Torch, and then she got exposed to some chemicals, and then he kind of hid her power. She had a fear of flames for no good reason at all. And then I find out through the storyline that they unlocked that fear, and then she found out she had flaming powers. At one point, they asked her to join the Fantastic Four. They were the Fantastic Five. So Fantastic Four literally had two torches, a female version and a male version. So this is episode. If you notice, we talk about two different things, right? On Secret Wars, it was like, well, you got two of them, right? Secret Wars 1, everybody will probably get, but then there's also Secret Wars 2. This is the classic example of Captain Marvel and Carol Danvers, right? Yes. Everybody bought the first issue, the first Miss Marvel, but then people started buying the first Carol Danvers, which was in the Marvel
Superheroes 13,
Marvel Superheroes 13, right? So, but specifically, it's going to be the first, because if you didn't know, Frankie Ray has already been in the movies. She was in Fantastic Four #2. She was an actual Air Force soldier that, remember, Johnny Storm kept on hitting on her.
Oh yeah.
She was the hot chick that was Air Force. She was in an Air Force uniform, and and so when I remember reading this, it was so heartbreaking because the beginning of issue 244 starts with a heartbroken Johnny Storm. He shows up at a friend's house, and she's like, "I can't believe what happened." And it's told backwards what she ended up doing. She was enamored with Galactus, and this whole story is that he told her, and so Johnny Storm was in love with her. They were dating, and then Galactus said, look. Even though you saved me, if I don't feed soon, I'm going to die." And then she actually, like Norn-Rad sacrificed himself to save Zenla and became Galactus's Herald. Same thing Frankie Ray did. Frankie Ray said, "Look, I will become your Herald and I will help you find a plan." And Johnny Storm was like, wait, I love you, blah, blah, blah. So it's heartbreaking from his standpoint that, she left him and became a Herald. And that book is, Nova has kind of had a cult following. She's been around for a long time. She was in the Fantastic Four animated series. She's been in some video games. She got killed in the comics. She dated Silver Surfer for a while. She showed up in Silver Surfer's world. She got killed in the comics and she got resurrected. And she showed up in there's a different versions of her. But for the most part, this comic here, I think, will be the one that people are getting. And that little piece of art right there, that's Jim Chung killing it right there with the modern take on Galactus. What can you tell us about this first issue? I think we got a graphic for there it is.
Yeah, there we go. And then, you know what? That's right. And this is 244. All you need to know is John Byrne. John Byrne wrote it. John Byrne did the ink. He did the pencils. He did everything on this. It was him running the show. This is, and Tim, I know you agree with it. You touched on it. This is the prelude to the trial of Galactus, because, as you said, Galactus is about to die. Reed Richards actually finds 3 planets that are uninhabited that Galactus can actually go to. But Galactus says, he kind of turns it and says, "No, but I must feed on the Earth." And then it kind of gets a little bit twisted. So this runs, the trial of Galactus, I believe, is in its 260s. So you've got another 20 issues of building up to this and how the storyline works.
Yeah. So John Byrne run this. Yeah, John Byrne is from 232 to 282. Good 50 issues where he was the writer and artist on Fantastic Four.
Right, absolutely. And so this actually preludes to it. You've got a lot of characters involved. You see Thor, or you see him in human form and stuff like that. So there's a lot of characters that are involved in this whole story. And
that covers is badass.
It's unbelievable, right? The colors, the purple, the yellow. I'm going to go after this book. I hope Barry Gary's got a couple copies of this because I'm going after it. So I'll see you guys at Terrificon for this book.
Yeah. So, Man from Beantown brings up a good point. She is one of the most powerful characters in the Marvel universe. When she already had flame powers, but then given the power cosmic on top of that, I mean, she was, how Johnny Storm goes supernova. I mean, she's supernova all the time. She can go through space. She has the power cosmic. She's incredibly powerful. So, I mean, that's a great character to have. And this kind of goes with everything that Marvel's doing. Some people are not going to like it, but, the whole kick of diversity, bringing more female characters. And we're going to talk about that a little bit later But go ahead and go through the sales right now, because there was news that dropped literally 2 days ago about ABC, and we're going to talk about that. I kind of sprung that on you guys, but that's the way we do it, man. We ad lib on here.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, someone clearly this book is easy to find. I think I've seen them $5-10 rec. But you know what? Someone actually bought this book in a 9.8 recently, July, sold for $200. That is the GPA on a 9.8. 9.6, as you could see, such a drop off. And we always talk about that, the drop off from a 9.8 to a 9.6, only $45. And like Otto said, what is the book to get? Tim, you said it too. What's the book to get? This is either the Carol Danvers or the first Miss Marvel or Captain Marvel. So right now, you know,
right now, the sales data points
Dark Side
to,
Jedi, we were in our little chat, and he goes, what's the book to spec on? I said the 164.
I said
clearly
244.
sales. Yeah, the sales show you for 244. So.
Well, that's why I prefaced the video by saying it's the market dictates what what's being sold. What's the issue to get, right? The classic example of Hulk 180, well, Hulk 181. Right. That's the biggest book ever for people to say this is the first one. You can also argue First Galactus is also another one, but the market decided that's FF 49, not 48, because people are like, let's get 2 books instead of just one.
Right. Yeah, right. Exactly.
You know, what's a cameo? What's not a cameo? It's kind of hard to say, but here's the way I see it. People will snatch up 244, and when it's gone, they'll snatch up 164. And then there's some other stories there where she appears for the first time in costume as part of the Fantastic Five. There's a couple other things, but it's a great character. That's why I'm so excited with Feige and the FF stuff, because man, this is the flagship of Marvel, man. This is the first family of comics, man, to finally get it done right after we had to sit through 4. I would say the Corbin version was never released, so it doesn't count. But even people kind of like that for kind of silly I was. But we get casting for it. The FF is what back in the 80s and 90s, the FF drove everything. If something on a cosmic scale happened, and that's why I'm a big fan of Fantastic Four and Doctor Strange. Shang-Chi is an outlier for me because he's just badass character. But anytime something happened on a major cosmic level, the FF were brought in, and a lot of times Doctor Strange brought in. If any supernatural shit happened, who did you call? The Doctor first, right? You called up Doctor Strange first, and there's nothing about it. And here's where another tidbit that we're going to talk about. I don't have any graphics for it, but we're just gonna leg it, fellas. We're just gonna wing it. I'm also hearing the Mandarin is going to have a cameo in Doctor Strange. I already forgot the name. Adventures in the Multiverse.
Multiverse of Madness.
Multiverse of Madness.
Yeah,
the Mandarin is going to have a cameo in there to show you that this isn't the Mandarin from Iron Man 2 and Iron Man 3. There's a great videos that shows how long the 10 rings and the Mandarin's been lurking. He was also in the scene of Ant-Man when, remember, they're going to, what's his name? Yellow Jacket is going to sell the PIM particles, and there's a bunch of Hydra people and everything. One of the guys actually has a 10 rings tattoo on his neck that's halfway covered up. So they are saying that the real Mandarin has been lurking this entire time, and he's going to come back pissed because of what happened. If you watch the Mandarin outtake, remember Marvel used to do this little outtake that they showed on the DVDs, the one with Ben Kingsley. That one is really interesting because it actually, they actually wanted to kill Ben Kingsley because they were saying, no, we are the real 10 rings. And it was just other people that were kind of playing it to him. So the Mandarin is going to show up as a cameo, and you know how Marvel likes to do it. Maybe they're going to start mentoring the Mandarin and the 10 rings, similar to what they did with the Infinity Stones, right here and there and the other. But I would expect either a straight up end credits cameo with the Mandarin, or it's alluded to somewhere in there. Because remember, Doctor Strange, just as soon as you put multiverse in the title, man, that opens things up everywhere. And I mean everywhere. I mean Disney Plus, Hulu, fucking Netflix. Hell, they may throw a CW show in there for all we know, but it's coming, man. It's coming. Speaking of which, now this is pure speculation on my part, but speculation with evidence. Now, ABC's president, I forgot her name, but just announced that Deadline announced that ABC is going to be doing a new property to replace Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. on ABC proper. Not Sword, because remember, the Sword show, which I'm calling Agents of Sword, is going to be on Hulu. So ABC basically doesn't have anything, and the ABC is basically left with just the scraps of the heap, right? Everything else is going to Hulu or Disney Plus. ABC is developing a female-led and superhero property for ABC. I put superhero in quotes because this is what Deadline said. Deadline is the one that said it. The actual head of ABC didn't say superhero. She said Marvel property. This goes to lend credence to with our speculation. We finally might get a Dakota North TV show.
Right.
If Dakota North happens, oh my God. I wish
Right.
my old channel was up, but we have evidence of it because my man James probably got like 5 copies of Dakota North. I think we all got a copy except for
Yeah, we
Dakota.
all bought them up, right? We all got a
We were all
couple.
tagged in. It's all over Instagram. So
Yeah. You know what? I'm going to give you guys a bonus since we got 12 minutes left and Rick Taylor asked me about it. But yeah, let me talk about that. Kamala Khan is set to make her debut in Captain Marvel #2. Yes, they're going to bring it. ABC began developing the property Kamala Khan in 2015 and would like to pursue it. Disney and Kevin Feige are weighing the options. Brie Larson has just begun her reign as Captain Marvel and will most likely be a decade before she hangs up the Captain Marvel outfit. To a lot of people are not going to like that, but either way, I don't care. Paving the way for a Miss Marvel movie, having both simultaneously cause confusion with the general audience, even though Miss Marvel ticks off all the right buttons for ABC: young, female, progressive, diverse, ethnic, all that, right? They want to do it. ABC is more of a friendly family platform. If you watch shows at 8 p.m., they don't curse at all. Not even that. I mean, even Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. just recently got kind of violent. But if you remember, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. started at an 8 p.m. time slot. And when they got to a 9 p.m. time slot, they could do more because remember, ABC, CBS, NBC are more beholden to the FCC and what they can do. So, so bringing in, all these progressives. So she could also cross over into Dakota North, bringing a more MCU feel to the ABC show. First appearance of Kamala Khan is Captain Marvel 14. We don't have any sales data on this, but we will get it to you next week. Hopefully I'll get more information on that. But they've already sowed the seeds of every Captain Marvel in a Captain Marvel film. We've gotten Marvel, we've gotten Photon or Pulsar or Light Years, whatever her name is, Monica Rambeau, who is also her daughter is going to be appearing in the Disney Plus streaming service. So we already got that one. So look out for that. This book has been hot for a long time, and you know why. The speculators bought it when it first came out, but then there was a reason. It was like, why is this book still remaining so hot, right? People were buying the first Kamala Khan because Marvel's been developing it for a while. They knew they had something on their hands, right? They knew they had it, and she's pretty popular in the animated series. She's probably popular in Champions. You and I, we don't have to like it, but guess what? It's not for us. It's for, a totally different graphic. It's for, young teenage people, kids, boys, girls, it's a little bit of everything, but she's got the name. That's the only thing that's a bit confusing though, right? Captain Marvel, Ms. Marvel, what they're going to do with it. But she has a totally different power set. But the only comment it was she was introduced in the Captain Marvel comic book in Captain Marvel 14. So we'll see. It's almost easy. I mean, it's almost like a low hanging fruit to spec on Captain Marvel because I guarantee everybody here, I haven't gave one away. I shouldn't have, but somebody's got it right now.
Yeah, I sold 9.8s for like $200 and $300.
You know what, Justin? Pull up GPA right now on a Captain Marvel 14 because the interesting thing about that is once we get into the spec books of modern books, you got variants that you have to start taking into account for.
Right. Well,
she's from Jersey, so that's another great thing. Jersey City.
Well, Justin's looking that up. I just want to bring it back to the FF, the Trial of Galactus. That whole John Byrne run. I mean, that is a must read for anybody. That's as like the Judas Contract. That's your Secret Wars. That's your.
How dare you compare it to the Teen Titans Judas Contract?
Well,
that's a great story. No, that's a great story. No, it's almost like
Well, it's like or Dark Phoenix, you know what I mean? Those are good runs.
Every decade you seem to get those with Marvel, right? So if you think about the Death of Phoenix was probably 70s, early 80s, right? Then you got Secret Wars, then you got that. Marvel always does this. Sometimes they hit it out of the ballpark, but Infinity Gauntlet, and sometimes it's a dud. Yeah. But then you talk about Annihilation Wave, which is arguably one of the biggest ones of modern era, right? Great stories. I mean, actually killed it with all the and I'm telling you, just go out and buy the entire Annihilation Wave and all the tie-ins. Just telling you right now, just do it. Just do it.
Because you can't buy the first appearance of Annihilation anymore because Gary bought them all. So
all right. So you guys want to hear the sales data?
Yeah, let's do that.
All right, so this is
tell us which book this is first.
All right, so this is the Captain Marvel 14 first appearance of Kamala Khan. So 9.8s are going for about $400. GPA is 375. Now everybody knows there is a 1 in 20 variant, and I believe I did a variant spotlight on all the Captain Marvel variants, and this was part of it. The last 9.8 variant sold for $1,400 back in 2016. Lord. But here's an interesting thing. There is a $3.99 newsstand edition for the regular cover. Guess how much that went for? $1,700 in a 9.6 in May.
Fuck yes. Oh, sorry.
Oh my God. So if you can find the $3.99 newsstand edition, that is the book to get.
All right, I'm telling you, man, regardless of what middle-aged men think, or, you know, in our 30s or whatever, I mean, Captain Marvel or Ms. Marvel is very popular, man. The kids like it. She's big in the animated series. Yep. I actually even liked her in, I mean, as a book that's, you know, not widely read by a lot of kind of seasoned collectors and readers, right? We like either Venom and Carnage and all this dark shit. I really enjoy the Champions. It was a throwback to a superhero book. It was very throwback to a superhero book, and you had all these young characters, and you can see how, you know, Marvel is, you know, if Marky was here, he'd say the rat, but, you know, the mouse has to make it a little bit appealing for everybody. I mean, you know, you got Endgame, which is kind of dark and, you know, somber, but then you have to have stuff for the kids too, you know, like they say, the Rock loves
Marvel Rising.
The Rock loves the kids. And speaking of which, and this will be on the next report, is I'm heard DC is really, really pissed off because The Rock is deep in talks again with Kevin Feige. His agents are talking to Kevin Feige. So we shall see. D23 is about 3 weeks away. So the Lords of Longbox channel will be back next week, and we'll be doing a pre-D23 show. So, but hey, we're just about wrapping up. Shout out to the Comic Core. Check out Comic Core Unlimited. Also check out Big Easy and NY Warriors. I want to just give a heartfelt thank you to all the homies, the friends, the supporters, the subscribers on IG, on Facebook, on the YouTubes for you know, subbing me back up, for reposting on Instagram. I mean, it means a lot to me.
Reposts were like free TiVo. You know what I mean? It was like you got to repost. It was like free TiVo.
TiVo the Terminated will be TiVo the Tamed, or TiVo the Tamer. Just go TiVo back to regular TiVo, man. So thank you, everybody. Sub up this channel.
That's right. So
I just commented on it. Also, in the video description is also a link to the Lords of the Longbox channel. I'm going to be, I have a massive haul. I was going to do it on the old channel, so they took it down. I got like 25, 30 books that I've just been buying and buying and buying. I just got realized because I had some money in my PayPal. I just went nuts on it. And I've been to the LCS last 2 days too. Jonathan Hickman has got me back buying and reading X-Men. That's what the power of the Hickman does. And also look out today, Agents of Atlas #1. There's a first appearance, and it's an all Asian team, and there's a variant with Shang-Chi on the motherfucking cover, man. And I just got shout out to Gem Mint. I'm going to be doing a giant trade review of Master of Kung Fu and 3 Doctor Strange that I just found at the LCS today. There's Doctor Strange, some Bronze Age stuff. So, you know, I'm going to do a recent read. So watch out, Gem Mint. I'm coming for you. But actually, just kidding. I'll be on Gem Mint's channel this Saturday. Chop it up. I haven't been there in a minute. Gem Mint, what used to be on this channel way back in the day. So I'm going to be on the Gem Mint channel 6 p.m. Pacific this Saturday. Because I guess what? I got some stuff I still hasn't dropped for you because everybody, I mean, Otto, Justin, and Darkside Jedi saw the Black Knight report I sent him. There were 13 items on there. Yeah, we only covered about 5 here.
Right.
So I'm going to go and drop some more nuggets, and I'll probably have more details about this because he's got 30,000 subscribers. So I guarantee you about 28,000 of them haven't seen this channel yet. So, you know, even what we talk about here will be new to them. Also, I'll be on Comic Tom 101's channel next Thursday with some more nuggets on that channel. Basically, I'm just doing a worldwide tour to kind of get the promotion back onto my channel, to get the sub counts back up. And you know what? Even though we already did giveaways, I'll do them again once we hit milestones. So look out for that. First one, once we hit 1,000 subs, I will do a giveaway just to show our appreciation for you all. You know, appreciate you guys. And that's it, man. So a sub up, 3 Men in the Basement, who is our brothers on this channel. They've been nice enough to host this. Next week, we'll be back on the Lords of the Long Box channel because I'll be able to go live again. Look at it. It takes 24 hours. Ain't that a bitch? They like literally 24 hours.
Really,
not
every time you take a turn, Tim, they're just throwing like a barrier in front of you. You know,
it's
what
not
I mean?
18
like
hours.
skills.
It's not 20 hours. It's literally 24 hours. And if you remember yesterday, I came and I 4 or 5 o'clock. I said, all right, fuck it. I just made a new channel.
Yep.
All right, Otto. Any last words? We'll start with Justin since it's Otto's channel.
Yeah, I mean, you guys will see myself, Roger, Pat, and of course Otto this weekend at Terrificon. We're doing
guys.
two live shows. It is already scheduled. Of course, we go rogue. We pretty much are sitting in the hallway of someplace up in Mohegan Sun. I'm going to try to get an artist. Hey, you never know who's going to be on the show, so be on the lookout for that this weekend.
It's awesome. If you guys haven't seen it last year, they just hang out in the lobby of a hotel, and people just come by and they talk to them. Otto's just like, "Hey, what did you get, buddy?" And they're just people just come by. But now more people know you guys, so hopefully people will come out and you get some creators, comic book creators, to talk with you, and hopefully Otto doesn't just skip out on it altogether. He's got a gambling problem.
That's right. So no, we've got that all planned out. So yeah, everybody, this is going to be a really fun time. Terrificon is our Super Bowl. It's right in our backyard, and the 3 Men of Basement are going to be there in full effect. Shout out to everybody who bought T-shirts from us. If you guys are interested in any more 3 Men in the Basement T-shirts, I do have them. They're $20 shipped. You can comment. I'll get those out to you, or find us on Instagram. Everett Otto, Nemesis Prime, Roger Levesque, all on Instagram. Also for Terrificon, we've got some things planned. You want to look out for Barry Gary. You want to look out for my good friends at J&S Collectibles. And we're going to be there Friday. We're going to be there Saturday. We're going to be there Sunday. Friday, we're going to do a live show at 9 o'clock in the hotel, right in the foyer, in a living room area. So that's going to be great. Saturday, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to be hanging all day. We're also hosting a 3 Men in the Basement happy hour at the Mohegan Sun pool. They got a great pool. So we'll do that around 5 o'clock.
Are you going to be taking your shirt off, Otto?
Well, maybe I'll wear the Medium tank top. That's what I might be wearing. I might be rocking the Medium, but we're going to be doing that. So if you see us in the 3 Men in the Basement t-shirt, if you see any of us, please come up to us. Let us know your IG name, your YouTube name, who you are, because that's what this community is all about. It's meeting new people. I wait all year for this show, and it's just going to be a really great time. Justin, Roger, and Pat, we've been planning this. We've been talking about times and how we're going to do things. And, Dennis for Comics is coming up. We've got tons of guys. So just get everybody together, talk comic books, really geek out, buy some books, have a great time. I'm going to get as much video as I possibly can. So, thank you very much for watching the 3 Men in the Basement channel and all our videos. Thank you all the new watchers from Lords of the Long Box who have jumped on and subbed us up. We really appreciate it. And like the Lords of the Long Box, 3 Men in the Basement, we're like Hydra. You cut one head off, we come right back at you. So check out the next tour that's coming up the next couple of days, because we're going to be invading YouTube.
All right. I will last words is will be on Gentleman Collectibles show Saturday night at 6 p.m. It's a wild show. They got like 300-400 people in the live chat. So we're going to be spreading my rhyme like an incurable disease, the black plague of all you sorry whack MCs. You went to the doctor for the antidote. He said, listen to TiVo. That's your only hope, because my rhyme's so dope. It could get you stone kicked back full as I spark up the microphone. Oh, I got to stop.
Anyway, just clicked it right there.
That's on my SoundCloud, by the way.
I'm sorry, we're no longer broadcasting.
Anyway, hey,
all right.
Thanks for everybody for tuning in to Lords of Long Box, 3 Men in the Basement, Otto from the Grotto, Justin, Nemesis Prime. Shout out to Darkside Jedi, everybody in the live chat. Until next time, boys and girls, keep digging in them long boxes. Peace out.
All right.